I never thought the day would come when my own flesh and blood would look me in the eye and treat me like a stranger. But it did. It was the day my daughter Emily inherited $33 million. You see, my late husband, Richard, had built a small fortune from scratch. He came from nothing, worked his way through college, and built a successful construction company. When he passed away after a sudden heart attack, I thought the family would hold each other tighter, lean on one another, and keep his legacy alive. But I was wrong. Richard adored Emily. She was our only child, and he spoiled her in ways I often disagreed with. Where I would have said no, Richard always said yes. She deserves the best, he'd argue, and one day she'll thank us for it. I bit my tongue more times than I can count. But after his death, the consequences of his choices became painfully clear. When the lawyer read out Richard's will, I nearly fainted. Emily wasn't just given control of his assets. She was granted full ownership of $33 million. I was given a modest monthly allowance and the house. Richard had trusted Emily to take care of me, believing that her love would guide her. But love, when mixed with greed, can turn sour. At first, Emily seemed grateful. She hugged me and promised, "Don't worry, Mom. I'll take care of you." Just like Dad wanted, I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. But within weeks, she began to change. She bought a new car, an imported sports car that cost more than our entire neighborhood combined. Then came the designer clothes, the jewelry, the lavish parties. Strangers began hanging around her. Men who whispered in her ear. Women who flattered her. So-called friends who only appeared when champagne flowed. I tried to talk to her. "Emily," I said gently one evening as she strutted into the house in a glittering gown, "you have to be careful. Money doesn't last forever. Your father wanted you to use it wisely." She rolled her eyes. "You don't understand, Mom. This is my money. Dad trusted me. I'm not some poor woman clipping coupons like you." The words cut like a knife. I had raised her, sacrificed for her, stayed up countless nights worrying about her. And this was how she saw me. A poor, useless woman. Still, I swallowed my pride. She was my daughter. But things escalated. One morning, she walked into the living room, arms crossed, her expression cold. "Mom, I've decided you shouldn't live here anymore. This is my house now, and I don't want to share it. You'll need to move out." I froze. "Emily, this is the house I raised you in. The house your father built with his hands. How can you—" She cut me off. "You're holding me back. I want to live freely. You don't belong here anymore. You can go to one of those senior apartments. I'll send you some money every month. Be grateful." Her words echoed in my ears long after she stormed out. That afternoon, I packed my small suitcase. No servants offered to help. No friends came to say goodbye. I walked out of the gates with my head held high. Even though my heart was breaking into a million pieces, I rented a tiny room in an old boarding house across town. It wasn't much, but it was quiet, and I finally had space to think. For 3 days, I mourned. Not just for Richard, but for the daughter I thought I had. But on the third night, there was a knock on my door. A frantic, desperate pounding. When I opened it, there was Emily. Her expensive makeup was smeared, her designer dress torn, her eyes swollen from crying. She fell to her knees on the doorstep. "Mom, please, you have to help me," she sobbed. I stared at her stunned. "Emily? What happened?" Through hiccuping breaths, she explained. One of her so-called friends had convinced her to invest millions into a shady business deal. The promise of quick returns had blinded her. Within 3 days, $30 million had vanished. Worse, the man she trusted had disappeared with the money and left behind dangerous people who were now demanding repayment. Men had shown up at her house, banging on the doors, threatening her life. She was terrified. She had nowhere else to go. And suddenly, the daughter, who had once cast me aside, was clutching my hands, begging for forgiveness. For a long moment, I said nothing. My heart ached to see her like this, broken and desperate. But another part of me, the part that remembered every cruel word she had spoken, wanted to close the door. Still, I could not turn my back on her. She was my daughter. "Come inside," I whispered. That night, Emily slept in the small bed I had rented. Gone was the arrogant, spoiled heiress. In her place was a frightened young woman who had finally realized that money could not replace love, loyalty, or wisdom. Over the next few weeks, I guided her. I contacted lawyers, traced bank accounts, and slowly began helping her rebuild. It wasn't easy. The money she had lost was gone forever. But through perseverance, we managed to recover enough to settle her debts and keep her safe. Emily had learned her lesson the hard way. But here's something Emily didn't know. Richard's original will had been different. Before his death, he had left everything to me, trusting me to handle the finances. It was I who convinced the lawyer to give Emily control, believing it would make her responsible, believing it would help her grow. I had given her the rope, and she nearly hung herself with it. When she finally discovered the truth, months later, she broke down in tears all over again. "Mom, after everything I did to you, why would you give me the money?" I smiled sadly. "Because love isn't about control, Emily. It's about trust. I wanted you to see for yourself that wealth means nothing without wisdom. And I hoped that when the money was gone, you'd remember who stood by you." She hugged me tightly, sobbing into my shoulder. For the first time in years, I felt my daughter return to me. Not the heiress, not the spoiled child, but the girl I had raised. Today, Emily lives differently. She works with me to run a foundation in Richard's name, helping underprivileged families and teaching young people about financial responsibility. She still has wealth, but she no longer flaunts it. As for me, I no longer mourn the betrayal of that day. Because sometimes people need to lose everything to realize what truly matters. And sometimes it takes $33 million for a daughter to finally understand the priceless value of her mother's love. Money can build walls just as quickly as it can open doors. Emily believed $33 million made her invincible, but it took losing nearly everything to teach her the truth. Wealth means nothing without wisdom, love, and loyalty. In life, the people who stand by you in your darkest moments are far more valuable than any fortune. Money may vanish overnight, but a mother's love, patience, and guidance are treasures no thief can steal. So remember, respect and gratitude are worth more than millions, because without them, riches will only leave you empty. Thank you so much for watching this story till the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe even learned something from it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, full of life lessons, drama, and emotions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you'll never miss an update. Your support means the world, and it helps me keep bringing you more inspiring and unforgettable stories. Stay tuned because more amazing stories are on the way.